He was the king who tried to change the heavens, rewrite religion, and reshape the identity of an entire civilization by force. His name was Akhenaten, but history remembers him as the pharaoh who lost himself chasing the sun. Before his reign, Egypt was a world of balance. Thousands of temples, millions of worshippers, powerful priests, and gods that ruled every corner of life. Amun, Osiris, Isis, Ra, Hathor. Each deity had temples so large they looked like mountains carved by gods themselves. The priests of these temples were so powerful they could challenge the throne. And that's exactly what shaped Akhenaten's destiny. When he rose to power, he saw Egypt not as a kingdom but as a broken machine controlled by religious elites. He believed he had been chosen to fix it, not with war or politics, but with a spiritual revolution. At first, the court thought he was simply eccentric, a dreamer, a philosopher. But then he revealed his true vision. Akhenaten declared that every god in Egypt, every temple, every priest, every ancient ritual was wrong. He announced that Aten, the glowing sun disk, was the only true god. This was the most radical religious shift in 3,000 years of Egyptian history. He didn't just encourage Aten worship, he made it the law. Anyone who resisted the new faith risked punishment. Temples that had stood for centuries were shut down. Statues of old gods were chiseled away. Priests were stripped of land, power, and wealth. The king was not reforming religion. He was burning it to the ground. But Akhenaten's madness reached higher. He believed he was Aten's chosen prophet, the only man capable of understanding the god's will. And as his obsession grew, the kingdom began to fracture. Instead of ruling Egypt, he turned his focus to creating a brand new capital city in the middle of nowhere. Akhenaten, the horizon of the sun, a city built at insane speed, with palaces that blazed white under the desert light, temples without roofs so Aten's rays touched every corner, and streets aligned perfectly with sunrise. Thousands of workers died building it, but Akhenaten didn't care. To him, it was a holy mission. He moved the entire royal court there, abandoning the old capital. From that moment, Egypt no longer had a king, it had a fanatic. Foreign enemies raided Egypt's borders, diplomacy collapsed, vassal states begged for help and got silence, the army weakened, trade collapsed, and famine crept across the Nile. But Akhenaten wasn't concerned with starving people, he was writing hymns to the sun, wandering the palace in trances, claiming he could feel divine messages in the heat. His advisors didn't know whether he was inspired or insane. Some records say he spoke to Aten the way a man speaks to a living person. Others claim he spent hours staring at the sun until his skin blistered, whispering prayers no one understood. Even his appearance changed. Ancient art shows him with an elongated face, narrow jaw, thin neck, wide hips, and a strange androgynous body. Whether this was symbolic or he truly looked that strange, no one knows, but people whispered, the king has become something not entirely human. Meanwhile, his wife, Nefertiti, the most powerful woman in Egypt, began mysteriously disappearing from records. Some say she died, some say she turned against him, some say she was quietly removed. Whatever happened, after she vanished, Akhenaten became worse. He exiled his enemies, executed critics, and doubled down on his mission to erase the old gods. He ordered workers to carve his name where Amun's name had once stood. He punished cities that refused to follow Aten. Egypt was breaking under the weight of one man's obsession. If you've watched this far, hit the like button and subscribe, because the fall of Akhenaten is the most dramatic ending in ancient Egyptian history. As the kingdom weakened, famine worsened, and foreign armies attacked, the people began to fear something far darker, that their king wasn't just wrong, he was cursed. Whispers spread that the gods were punishing Egypt for abandoning them. Priests began meeting in secret, Generals started gathering support, and nobles quietly removed Aten symbols from their homes. The country was preparing for a cleansing. When Akhenaten finally died, Egypt didn't mourn. It erupted. His capital city was abandoned overnight, left to rot under the desert sun. His temples were smashed, his statues were shattered, his sermons burned. His name was scraped off walls so violently that for 3,000 years, historians couldn't even find him in the records. The old gods returned with full force, and the priests erased the pharaoh they believed had nearly destroyed Egypt. They wanted him forgotten forever. But the truth survives. Akhenaten wasn't just a king, he was a warning. A man who believed he could rewrite heaven, reshape a people, and defy thousands of years of culture alone. Caligula ruled with madness. Akhenaten ruled with delusion. And the final king? He will rule with fear, so pure and deadly that even today his name means terror. Hit subscribe, because the last story is the darkest one in the entire series.